Hey everybody, I'm excited. I'm back. Um, Recently, it's been an amazing set of experiences, but I have been shadow banned on Facebook. So I haven't been able to share anything with anybody, and I haven't been able to like or comment or anything. So if I've been absent and I haven't been interacting, then my apologies. But I did find this wonderful workaround for all of you that do get shadow banned on Facebook. Go to StreamYard.com, and they can actually attach to your Facebook page, and then boom, here we are. We're live. Okay, let's see. Or hopefully we're live. I don't know. I can't see Facebook. So I'm not sure. So I'm back in Los Angeles. It's been an amazing last few weeks. Sierra and I wrapped up Cancer Alley, and an incredible story that we cannot wait to share. The Harambe documentary is coming along further and further. And actually, be on the lookout because we're putting out a new trailer and website coming really soon. And I think the biggest highlight for me, ever since I've started my work as an activist, especially as a cancer activist, is being at this event that Safe threw for us. Is called the Safe EPA protest. Absolutely amazing. You can see pictures and videos on my profile and other profiles as well. And hey, Camilla, good morning or probably afternoon to you. Good to see you. um, so, it was amazing because we got to meet activists from all around the nation. And I can tell you from working on pollution stories and conservation stories worldwide that it is a worldwide problem. The problem is never isolated to an area or to a specific aquifer or to a specific well. The problem is international and it's a business model. The business model is where companies will dump into poorer communities thinking they're not going to be able to fight back. And the people in these communities are getting sick. But it's not just their communities because most of the time the water that comes into all communities comes from these contaminated areas. So even if you live in a nice neighborhood, you might be drinking off a system that's pulling from a contaminated area. So it's important to know where your water comes from. It's important to know where it's coming from. It's important to know where they're pulling it from, and it's important to get it tested. And if you don't know, I'll put a link as well. There's a great free site. They did a bunch of professional testing and show you what's in your water. EWG.org. Great website. Who else do we have here today? Hey, Sherry, it's nice to see you. And Camilla, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you, Camilla. Thank you. It's really nice to hear that because going to this event was really amazing, to meet people from Hawaii, Oregon, Utah, North Carolina, of course, Florida, Louisiana. Got to see Sharon Levine, I've been working with in Cancer Alley. But it was amazing because it's a group of people that are doing this out of love. They're doing this because they've had family members injured, like environmental pollution. And, one thing that really struck me is we already know how to eliminate environmental cancer. So why haven't we? I got to meet Trevor Schaefer, he and his mom were responsible for putting together Trevor's Law, where they're supposed to be reporting cancer clusters. This was signed into law about 7 years ago. And the medical community is still not participating and they're not doing it. So we have a long way to go. But I'm really inspired because the unification of all of these incredible activists is leading to more and more projects where we're going to have more and more of a voice and more visibility within our society. Very often, those of us that are sick, whether it's cancer, chronic illness, or other issues that we face, society, we don't really have representation. We don't see us represented. I don't see people with cancer just as characters in TV shows or movies that are just people, where it's not just about their cancer. So we have a long way to go. Because we are an invisible group, we get overlooked a lot. And we just get everybody thinks, oh, the experts have it covered. Well, let me tell you, they're trying their best, but until we handle this environmental cancer, nothing is going to stop it out. Alicia, thank you. I will. Back in Los Angeles now. And Sherry, absolutely. They don't want us to know. They just don't want us to know. So, to me, it comes on more and more because I'm in Los Angeles getting ready for radiation. I start radiation on Wednesday. I've been here getting myself prepared right after the meeting. And I had an interesting experience for those of you that I'm really curious if you've had experiences like this. I had an experience where I was on a JetBlue flight and there's a bar that sits in the very back and it hit right where my tumor is. So I was getting these like shooting, stabbing pains. And I asked if I could get a blanket. They're like, no, they're for purchase. I was like, all right, I'll buy one. They're like, no, we're out of them. So do you have pillows? No, we don't have pillows. Is there any other seat maybe I can sit in? No, there's no other seat. So I had to stand at this 45-degree angle, and I'm in the middle seat, like standing back like this, just so my tailbone was not hitting the seat. And that was for 4.5 hours. And I asked JetBlue, so the odd thing is, so there was somebody next to me whose TV didn't have volume, so they had to read the captions. And the flight attendants were like, oh my gosh, you don't have volume, you're reading the captions. And they brought them all this wine. They're like, we're submitting a free flight voucher for you. Not even kidding. And they put in for 4 different flight vouchers for 4 different people whose televisions had issues. And I was like, can I just get something to sit on? And they were just like, ah. And I wrote to JetBlue, and JetBlue said to me, we don't accommodate people with special needs, and it's not our responsibility. So I do believe there is disability flyers' rights, but I'm just curious if other people that have chronic illnesses or cancers have faced the discrimination or an embarrassing situation or a humiliating situation on a flight. But, that experience reminded me we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go to be considered. We're not considered. We're an afterthought. Those of us who are sick, it's just like, okay, well, that's just their thing, and they're an afterthought. They're being taken care of. But you know what? We're not. We're taking care of each other. And that was beautiful about this Safe EPA protest rally, was to get to see so many people taking care of so many other people. And it was really amazing. I've never felt anything quite that incredible in my time in conservation and activism. As a matter of fact, most states could learn from this and put away their petty politics and just get together, because it's very interesting. Every state I've worked in, and I'm going to say it's about 7 states now, is the same problem. You have a lot of passionate people that have different approaches, and you have a few people that want to just fundraise on the name, and so the trick is, let's get all the passionate people together, because until they're unified, we're not going to get anything. A small faction of people is not going to change things. We need to unify, and we all have the same idea. We all have the same intent for the future. And, we want that to be clean. We want, nobody, it was like, we were talking about in DC, for anybody to get cancer is tragedy. But for children to get environmental cancer, that's criminal. It is criminal. We have to talk more about it. So the future is what we're all interested in, cleaner future. So this brings me to where I am today. I'm about to go shopping. Where am I? I'm at Sprouts. Love Sprouts. So one of the things I wanted to ask everybody is the idea on electric cars. Now, I had a great podcast with Will Fox over at the lithium mine. And we got to remember that the way that the batteries are working right now will require a lot of battery and lithium. So let's talk about that. So behind me is a station, EV charging station. And, I don't know if you guys have it in your cities or your areas, but I wanted to share it with you. So where is it? There it is. So it's just pretty simple. Can you see it? Yeah. So this is slow, very basic EV charging. So the question I have for everybody is, what do you think about electric cars? Do you think that it's a step forward, or do you think it's going to cause more pollution and end up being a step backwards? So I'm really curious to everybody. Hey, Jeremy. So yeah, I'm curious to what everybody thinks about that. I think it's a great step forward personally. I don't think we have to wait for a perfect solution to make a change. Like they say, a a handful of people being perfect isn't as effective as a huge group of people uh, doing things imperfectly. And so I always feel like, we're better off take the step forward and then fix it, continue to fix it, continue to change it. But I'm curious what everybody's thoughts are. Thacker Pass, Sherry, yeah, talking about Thacker Pass. Exactly. Thacker Pass is a tribal land in Nevada that they're trying to open in order to go in and do lithium mining. And at the moment, the country is very intent on it. So it's another interesting thing because it brings up the country's need and desire to sort of be number one in their own resources. And yet we have so much more land than so many other places do that's still beautiful and wild. And can we protect it from this need? Can we find this balance between people and industry? In Florida, they give it over to the industry. Louisiana goes to the industry. Most places I've been goes to the industry. Massachusetts goes to the industry. Utah goes to the industry. So when is it going to go to the people? What are we going to do about that? So there's a lot of interesting questions ahead. Since I can't put any posts on Facebook, I figure we should have coffee in the mornings. So please be on the lookout. We're going to go over tons of topics, and we'll be doing a live every day just to keep in touch with everybody. I'd miss doing conservation coffee, but now that the production of Camps Rally is done, I can get back to it. And there's so much to talk about. I can't wait to see what topics you guys have. If you have topic ideas, please put them in the comments. Let's go over them. I want to talk about everything conservation. So we can mine in Nevada lithium, but not Florida for phosphorus. So exactly, Sherry. And I know Sherry's a big advocate of leaving all nature alone. And that I think is the only way to go. I want to bring up another thing is this corporate personhood. Okay, Sarah and I were just talking about this last night in relation to Camps Rally, because over there, through Citizens United, the corporations have citizenship. Why are executives maintaining immunity if what these companies are doing is breaking the law and criminal? Instead of getting a pass and a small fine, if they really want to be people, they should be treated like people. They should get disturbing the peace tickets. They should have to go in on charges, and there should be charges against this negligent destruction of our environment. We're at a point where that needs to change. So, what's up with executive immunity? And doesn't it need to stop? If they want to be people, doesn't that shatter all their protections as corporations? So they get the law, they get the, they get all of the benefits of being a person, but they also get the benefits of being a corporation. You're not allowed to deduct all of your expenses from your taxes you owe. You're not allowed to get a tax credit from the state. You're not allowed to get 10-year tax exemption. You're not like Apple, or you're not going to get a full tax exemption, right? So we're funding a lot of them poisoning us. And that is what we really need to change. Hey, Trevor, hey, man, maybe the way of the future if we want an earth to live on. Absolutely. I think we got to get rid of fossil fuel. We have to get rid of that fossil fuel dependence. And, it would be great if we could get rid of it, because not only does it destroy all the ozone and the nature around us, but we got to remember that it gets put into things like plastics. I mean, that's why plastics are so prevalent. The oil and gas industry makes tons of profit on plastics and nurdles, and all of it is destructive, whether it's the polymers or it's the microplastics. Nothing good can come from this. And, maybe they were naive about that 70 years ago, but it's ridiculous now. We have the science. We've had the science since the 70s. Anyway, Trevor, I'm glad you're on, man. I had a great time getting to talk to you. Trevor's an incredible person and has an amazingly positive spirit that just won't back down. And that was the spirit of the event that I was at. It was a bunch of people that did the same thing I did. We took our pain and we took our misfortune and we used it as a sharpening stone for our soul to fight back and to change things. Because Like I said, you know, we already know how to eradicate and eliminate all environmental cancers. If this is a cancer we can beat, it's the only one we know we can beat. They're going to do research for pancreatic cancer and all these other lung cancer, all that for the next million years. They're never going to figure it out, it seems. They've been researching for a long time. But environmental cancer, that can disappear tomorrow if the government and the businesses are responsible, which we know neither are. That's why it's up to us to force them to be responsible. Alicia, Agnes. Hey, Agnes, nice to see you again. I love the whole EV idea. Just worry about nuclear taking off under being green. Very interesting, Agnes. We should do a whole show on that because there's a lot of nuclear push right now. And it's really something interesting to consider. You know, I've noticed that a lot of these companies are now trying to sell dangerous stuff as healthy alternatives to the dangerous stuff we already have. It's weird. It's like, here, you know, if that poison's uncomfortable, try some of this poison. So, you know, let's see. So far, you know, electric, by the way, if you guys haven't seen it, Who Killed the Electric Car? Great documentary. Sherry, might as well frack Pennsylvania and Ohio, keep poisoning the Mississippi, and then cry we want the clean water and complain because everybody's dying of cancer. Nature doesn't work that way. We need to rethink nature. Absolutely, Sherry. We're a part of nature, and what we do to the earth, we do to ourselves. That is beautifully said, and that is 100% accurate. And we really do need to be thinking about all these aspects. So great to get these comments on EV. It's really, you know, it's exciting to come out here and see that the stations are just all around. I've got a few friends that have EV cars, and they love them. They love them. You know, they do have to plan a little bit, so it's still a work in progress, but maybe the battery is the place where we really need the innovation. You know, maybe that's the area where we really need to see people like Tesla put their billions of dollars into doing non-destructive things. I mean, it's probably controversial to say this, but Elon Musk is a pretty destructive to the environment person between his space program, battery production, and then, of course, Neuralink, which, if you're not familiar with, involves a lot of animal testing on monkeys, things that are not just not good. But I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm curious what you guys also think about that. You know, there's a lot of love for Elon Musk. He's the most popular EV, but not the only one. Almost every brand now has their own EV car. So anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. I'm so glad this worked. We can be back in touch. It's great to see everybody. And yeah, keep putting your comments. I'd love to know more of your thoughts on this the EV car and where we're headed in that. And it's great to see everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. We'll have some coffee.